Hello guys, welcome to the first scheme of digital signature, that is RSA. In the previous lectures we have learned about the algorithm RSA, that is Ravish, Shamir and Adelman, wherein we see that it is the asymmetric key cryptography type of the algorithm wherein one particular user uses either its private key or public key to encrypt the data, and the receiver, when it will be receiving, will be using if will be using its own private or the sender's public key to decrypt the data. So this particular algorithm can then also be implemented for implementation of the signature schemes. So let's see how does the RSA works for the implementation of the digital signatures. It is considered as the special one. As we cannot obtain a digital signature scheme by swapping the roles of the private and the public keys of any public cipher system. You cannot even obtain a public cipher system by swapping the roles of the signature and verification keys of any digital signature. Now, here the optional task is we just have to express the operations involved in the RSA signatures mathematically to check that the process of verifying an RSA signature with appendix does need work. Now, identify a special property of RSA that allows it to be used as both an encryption and a signature algorithm. So here, the RSA is considered as a special algorithm which can be even considered for the encryption process and also for the implementation of the signature algorithm, because we cannot get the digital signature easily by swapping the roles of the private and the public keys. We cannot even get public key ciphers by swapping the roles of the signature generation and the verification of the keys. So we need to consider this property of RSA, which then allows for its encryption process also, and which then allows its implementation for the signature algorithm also. So how the key generation takes place in RSA? In RSA, the generation of keys is similar exactly as the same keys are generated in the RSA encryption algorithm. The same way the keys are generated here in the digital signature also. The only point which is to be noted is here in RSA, the digital signature scheme, D is the private and E and N are public. And in real applications, one should avoid using the same RSA key pair for both encryption and for digital signatures. That point has to be noted. The reason is that a good key management follows a principle which is known as a key separation, where cryptographic key has a specific role and is not used for any different purpose. That particular cryptographic key will then be implemented for the versions of the RSA that are to be used for both encryption and the digital signatures, and should issue each user with two key pairs. So when we implement the RSA's version, when we implement properly the versions of RSA, we need to have the two key pairs, a public private key pair for encryption and a verification and a signature key pair for digital signature. That means if we are implementing the encryption and the digital signature both by using the RSA algorithm itself, then we need to have the two key separation process wherein we need to have the two different key pairs, one key pair for encryption and the other key pair for digital signature. These different key pairs should be carefully managed to ensure that they are only used for their respected designated purpose. Now this is the exact figure of how the RSA digital signature scheme is implemented. Here we can see for signing we are using the sender's private key. This is the same formula which we used for finding out the ciphertext in the RSA algorithm. If we remember that we have the formula as C is equals to m to the power of d mod of n for finding the ciphertext. Similarly, here also we are using the DN pair of the private key of the sender to find the signature, that is for signing of the message. And then when it is being received at the receiver's end, so here if we consider Bob as the receiver, so Bob needs to verify the signature, and for verification of the signature, Bob is then using the public key pair of E comma N to find the value of S, that is the signing value, and to find that particular value, it is then using S to the power of E power of N, which will then give you the M dash, that is nothing but the ciphertext or the signed message, we can say, which is here denoted with M dash. And then when Bob verifies it, the Bob should verify that the value of M dash should be equal to M, and then only the signature is the verified signature. That means whose public key is available with the Bob, that person only has signed the message with its private key. And therefore the verification of the signature is very much needed at the receiver's end, and then only the receiver will be accepting the plain text message. So this is the generic figure, we can say, of the digital signature scheme. If we take the example here, if we take the values of prime numbers P and Q as mentioned, then we have to, according to the RSA algorithm, we just have to calculate the values of n and phi of n. After finding the values of n and phi of n, we need to choose the values of E, and then depending upon the value of E, we then calculate the value of D, and using such process, we then get the public key and the private key pair. And suppose the value of plain text message is 19070 to Bob, and then the Alice uses her private key to encrypt the message, to sign the message. Then this is the functionality we can see here. This is the process, this is the step which is then implemented to find the value of the S. And when this value of the S will then be received at the receiver's end, the receiver then have to calculate again value of M dash to get the exact same value as that of the M. So then at the receiver's end, the Bob receives the message and the signature. He then calculates the value of the M dash, which then comes out to be same as that of the M. And when we say that the values of M and M dash are same, that means the signature is verified. Bob accepts the message because he has verified the Alice's signature, which Alice has created by using Alice's private key pair. This is the figure for implementation of the message digest with the help of the RSA signature. Alice, who is the signer, has implementing the hashed functionality on the message first before implementing the signing on it. That means before implementing the signature, a message digest has been implemented here by using the hash functionality on the plain text message. And then when the signature is being implemented, the private key of the sender is used for the implementation of the sender, and thus we get a signed message of the hashed function, and that is only known as the signature on the message digest. And when it is then received at the receiver's end, receiver then have to verify the signature which is being implemented using the private key of the sender. So for verifying it, the Bob will be using the public key of the sender, that is Alice's public key pair E comma N will then be utilized for verifying the signature, and the value of the value of D dash should be same as that of the T. Also, the hashed message will also be then rehashed at the inverse of the hash functionality will then be implemented to get the plain text message, because the plain text message has undergone the message digest scheme, and then the output of the message digest has undergone the signature implementation, and which will then be improving the security of the data to the higher extent. So we say that the implementation of the message digest and the signatures do provide the highest amount of security to your data, which will then be transferring over the network. So this way, the implementation of the signature on the message digest takes place with the help of the RSA algorithm. One point is to be noted here is that When a digest is signed instead of the message itself, the susceptibility of the RSA digital signature scheme depends upon how much the strength of that hashed algorithm is. Because the implementation of the signature is being then taking place on the hashed message. So obviously it depends upon how the strength or how strong that hash algorithm is being used for the implementation of the message digest or the implementation of the hashing functionality on the plain text before it undergoes the signature implementation. Thank you guys. I just hope that you might have got the concept of the digital signature scheme using the RSA algorithm.